Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today is July 6th, 2024. This is the daily read for the collective. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter where you're located. As far as the date is right, hopefully you can gain some insights from this read. When the lovers is something that we can improve today, it is about partnerships. It is about partnership with passion. It is also associated with love relationships. So for some of us, we might hear some news about the people we deeply in love with. But for most of us, it is a time to think about partnerships. What partnerships can bring to our lives and also the others. Being in partnership is not an easy thing because in order to navigate through partnership, we have to always remember the fairness and the balance between each other. The lovers can also mean making a choice because there will be collaboration that comes into the picture, but then we have to commit to a certain extent in order to make things work in between in between different parties, in between clients, in between, any kind of people we are dealing with. We have to strike a deal to make each other feel fair and reasonable. The lovers is also a reminder about the fact that sometimes we can't do everything by ourselves, and we need to collaborate with the others in order to manifest the auspicious result that we are looking forward to. So I understand that some of you might be very independent. You might be a free spirit. So whenever cooperation is needed, it's always a challenge. I understand that because I I also love my freedom, and being in high mobility without strings attached. I understand those feelings, but at the same time, I remember that I've learned a lesson when I was alone in a foreign place where nobody was helping me. And that lesson made me realize the fact that, oh, I would prefer to have someone in my life who at least will listen to my concerns. They don't need to come to me and help me, but at least I would prefer somebody to know. Of course, I'm not talking about family, but I'm talking about a special someone who, you know, who will concern what I concern about. So I learned through this by the help of loneliness and also, you know, being alone in a difficult situation. So I've learned that. And I can understand the fact that, partnerships require compromise. And it depends on the situation. Sometimes we might feel like it's worth it. It's worth to compromise in order to, work together and then, bear the fruit together. But sometimes it can be very difficult because when we realize the fact that a partnership is not always in balance, then it can be an issue. It depends on how we perceive the partnership. Sometimes within a partnership, there will be ups and downs. Sometimes maybe you contribute more. Sometimes maybe the other person contribute more. Maybe it doesn't need to be equivalently distributed in regards to the contribution that you are making versus the other person's making. Sometimes it's not about reciprocating. Let's say if you help someone and if you go into a partnership with someone because of wanting to help them, and then they are not able to return some of your favors that you are expecting them to return to you, you might be receiving the good karma in other places, but not that particular person specifically. So I want to point out this because we'll never know how the universe will pay us back. Maybe sometimes we feel like, oh, we are being taken advantage of when we are in a partnership. But then probably we don't want to see the fact that we have been gaining wisdom and knowledge throughout the partnerships. Whether it is failing or succeeding, we are still gaining. And those lessons can bring us to success. But we usually, because we are not being taught to perceive things in such a way, we often see things in a way that, okay, I pay you something, then you have to do something for me. I help you, then you have to help me something. So quite often our societies will put this perception towards partnerships and relationships. I have to give you something and you have to give something, which makes sense. But sometimes it can also create a lot of burdens to ourselves, to our psyche, because there is no such a rule that people can reciprocate the others every time. Sometimes it takes a long time for them to pay back or for us to pay back. Sometimes we can't do it and then the other person passed away or whatever. So sometimes reciprocation does not necessarily happen in such a way. So I would like to mention this because I don't want anybody to feel like, okay, we have to make sure that we can, the other person will pay us back in order to, get into a meaningful partnership. If we are prosperous in our psyche, then we don't need to worry about whether the other person will pay us back. So we can still put ourselves into partnerships without feeling vulnerable, because we're gonna be okay no matter what. So collaborations require a lot of patience and also the willingness to compromise, because we all have different needs in our lives. So it is important to remember that the other person has their needs also, and they can be coming from a very different space, a different background. So each other can, can have the clash of opinions. But it shouldn't be something that prevents us from getting into partnerships. Because partnership, if we are patient enough, if we have the best strategy that fits both sides, then it can create something very good, which cannot be done by just one person. So the Lover's card is also a reminder for us to acknowledge the fact that we do have partnerships in our lives and we have to honor that. Doesn't matter whether you speak it out or you remember that or you acknowledge that within yourself. We have to understand that our lives built on partnerships somehow, some ways. And we should be grateful and appreciate the partnerships that bring us to where we want to be and who we want to be. It is a reminder that we shouldn't be simply focusing on our personal desires and personal ego. Because let's say if we are very confident, if we live a very proud and confident life, it's not only because of ourselves, it is also because the environment and the people around us, the communities around us, they allow us to be who we are. They allow us to be proud of ourselves. Well, this is also a type of partnership. Even though we don't instantly recognize that, but it is the partnership because of the harmony among us, so that we can be brave to be who we are, to be authentic. So it is crucial for us to remember this, and to not be arrogant. Because whenever the Lover's card appears, we have to take care of the other's needs. Not only ourselves, but the others also. At the same time, there is also a need for us to let the other party know what we are dealing with currently, so that we can have the balance, hopefully have the balance to work with each other. If you feel like you've been putting yourself out there too much, and putting a lot of effort without being recognized, hopefully today there will be a chance for the other person, the other party, to understand you more. Sometimes you might need to tell them what you are dealing with, so they can understand your situation more in order to adjust their behavior towards you. But it really depends on situation to situation. So, but anything about relationships, they can be magnified today. And it is crucial to understand our relationships dynamics, and to seek for the improvement that can bring in the harmony, the passion, the love with the people we know, with the people we encounter. So I hope this is helpful for you. And if you like this video, please consider liking that and subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Take care.